Have lost 7 of their last 9 across all competitions. Really need to try and get back on track this afternoon. They make 5 changes from the loss to Manchester City. Bailey, Shaw, Herrera, Matic and Lukaku come in. For Chelsea, well, they drew last time out with Burnley 2-2, and they've been poor on the road, losing 5 of their last 7. They make 4 changes. Rudiger comes back from injury. Alonso, Kovacic and Willian also in the starting 11. Chelsea can all but end Manchester United's hopes of claiming a top 4 finish this season if they take all 3 points away from Old Trafford this afternoon. The 4:30 kickoff in the Premier League. United have lost 7 of their last 9 across all competitions. Really need to try and get back on track this afternoon. They make 5 changes from the loss to Manchester City. Bailey, Shaw, Herrera, Matic and Lukaku come in. For Chelsea, well, they drew last time out with Burnley 2-2, and they've been poor on the road, losing 5 of their last 7. They make 4 changes. Rudiger comes back from injury. Alonso, Kovacic and Willian also in the starting 11. Chelsea can all but end Manchester United's hopes of claiming a top 4 finish this season if they take all 3 points away from Old Trafford this afternoon. The 4:30 kickoff in the Premier League. United have lost 7 of their last 9 across all competitions. Really need to try and get back on track this afternoon. They make 5 changes from the loss to Manchester City. Bailey, Shaw, Herrera, Matic and Lukaku come in. For Chelsea, well, they drew last time out with Burnley 2-2, and they've been poor on the road, losing 5 of their last 7. They make 4 changes. Rudiger comes back from injury. Alonso, Kovacic and Willian also in the starting 11. Chelsea can all but end Manchester United's hopes of claiming a top 4 finish this season if they take all 3 points away from Old Trafford this afternoon. The 4:30 kickoff in the Premier League. United have lost 7 of their last 9 across all competitions. Really need to try and get back on track this afternoon. They make 5 changes from the loss to Manchester City. Bailey, Shaw, Herrera, Matic and Lukaku come in. For Chelsea, well, they drew last time out with Burnley 2-2, and they've been poor on the road, losing 5 of their last 7. They make 4 changes. Rudiger comes back from injury. Alonso, Kovacic and Willian also in the starting 11. Chelsea can all but end Manchester United's hopes of claiming a top 4 finish this season if they take all 3 points away from Old Trafford this afternoon. The 4:30 kickoff in the Premier League. United have lost 7 of their last 9 across all competitions. Really need to try and get back on track this afternoon. They make 5 changes from the loss to Manchester City. Bailey, Shaw, Herrera, Matic and Lukaku come in. For Chelsea, well, they drew last time out with Burnley 2-2, and they've been poor on the road, losing 5 of their last 7. They make 4 changes. Rudiger comes back from injury. Alonso, Kovacic and Willian also in the starting 11. Chelsea can all but end Manchester United's hopes of claiming a top 4 finish this season if they take all 3 points away from Old Trafford this afternoon. The 4:30 kickoff in the Premier League. United have lost 7 of their last 9 across all competitions. Really need to try and get back on track this afternoon. They make 5 changes from the loss to Manchester City. Bailey, Shaw, Herrera, Matic and Lukaku come in. For Chelsea, well, they drew last time out with Burnley 2-2, and they've been poor on the road, losing 5 of their last 7. They make 4 changes. Rudiger comes back from injury. Alonso, Kovacic and Willian also in the starting 11. Chelsea can all but end Manchester United's hopes of claiming a top 4 finish this season if they take all 3 points away from Old Trafford this afternoon. The 4:30 kickoff in the Premier League. United have lost 7 of their last 9 across all competitions. Really need to try and get back on track this afternoon. They make 5 changes from the loss to Manchester City. Bailey, Shaw, Herrera, Matic and Lukaku come in. For Chelsea, well, they drew last time out with Burnley 2-2, and they've been poor on the road, losing 5 of their last 7. They make 4 changes. Rudiger comes back from injury. Alonso, Kovacic and Willian also in the starting 11. Chelsea can all but end Manchester United's hopes of claiming a top 4 finish this season if they take all 3 points away from Old Trafford this afternoon. The 4:30 kickoff in the Premier League. United have lost 7 of their last 9 across all competitions. Really need to try and get back on track this afternoon. They make 5 changes from the loss to Manchester City. Bailey, Shaw, Herrera, Matic and Lukaku come in. For Chelsea, well, they drew last time out with Burnley 2-2, and they've been poor on the road, losing 5 of their last 7. They make 4 changes. Rudiger comes back from injury. Alonso, Kovacic and Willian also in the starting 11. Chelsea can all but end Manchester United's hopes of claiming a top 4 finish this season if they take all 3 points away from Old Trafford this afternoon. The 4:30 kick-off in the Premier League. United have lost 7 of their last 9 across all competitions. Really need to try and get back on track this afternoon. They make 5 changes from the loss to Manchester City. Bailey, Shaw, Herrera, Matic and Lukaku come in. For Chelsea, well, they drew last time out with Burnley 2-2, and they've been poor on the road, losing 5 of their last 7. They make 4 changes. Rudiger comes back from injury. Alonso, Kovacic and Willian also in the starting 11. Chelsea can all but end Manchester United's hopes of claiming a top 4 finish this season if they take all 3 points away from Old Trafford this afternoon. The 4:30 kick-off in the Premier League. United have lost 7 of their last 9 across all competitions. Really need to try and get back on track this afternoon. They make 5 changes from the loss to Manchester City. Bailey, Shaw, Herrera, Matic and Lukaku come in. For Chelsea, well, they drew last time out with Burnley 2-2, and they've been poor on the road, losing 5 of their last 7. They make 4 changes. Rudiger comes back from injury. Alonso, Kovacic and Willian also in the starting 11. Chelsea can all but end Manchester United's hopes of claiming a top 4 finish this season if they take all 3 points away from Old Trafford this afternoon. The 4:30 kick-off in the Premier League. United have lost 7 of their last 9 across all competitions. Really need to try and get back on track this afternoon. They make 5 changes from the loss to Manchester City. Bailey, Shaw, Herrera, Matic and Lukaku come in. For Chelsea, well, they drew last time out with Burnley 2-2, and they've been poor on the road, losing 5 of their last 7. They make 4 changes. Rudiger comes back from injury. Alonso, Kovacic and Willian also in the starting 11. Chelsea can all but end Manchester United's hopes of claiming a top 4 finish this season if they take all 3 points away from Old Trafford this afternoon. The 4:30 kick-off in the Premier League. United have lost 7 of their last 9 across all competitions. Really need to try and get back on track this afternoon. They make 5 changes from the loss to Manchester City. Bailey, Shaw, Herrera, Matic and Lukaku come in. For Chelsea, well, they drew last time out with Burnley 2-2, and they've been poor on the road, losing 5 of their last 7. They make 4 changes. Rudiger comes back from injury. Alonso, Kovacic and Willian also in the starting 11. Chelsea can all but end Manchester United's hopes of claiming a top 4 finish this season if they take all 3 points away from Old Trafford this afternoon. The 4:30 kick-off in the Premier League. United have lost 7 of their last 9 across all competitions. Really need to try and get back on track this afternoon. They make 5 changes from the loss to Manchester City. Bailey, Shaw, Herrera, Matic and Lukaku come in. For Chelsea, well, they drew last time out with Burnley 2-2, and they've been poor on the road, losing 5 of their last 7. They make 4 changes. Rudiger comes back from injury. Alonso, Kovacic and Willian also in the starting 11. Chelsea can all but end Manchester United's hopes of claiming a top 4 finish this season if they take all 3 points away from Old Trafford this afternoon. The 4:30 kick-off in the Premier League. United have lost 7 of their last 9 across all competitions. Really need to try and get back on track this afternoon. They make 5 changes from the loss to Manchester City. Bailey, Shaw, Herrera, Matic and Lukaku come in. For Chelsea, well, they drew last time out with Burnley 2-2, and they've been poor on the road, losing 5 of their last 7. They make 4 changes. Rudiger comes back from injury. Alonso, Kovacic and Willian also in the starting 11. Chelsea can all but end Manchester United's hopes of claiming a top 4 finish this season if they take all 3 points away from Old Trafford this afternoon. The 4:30 kick-off in the Premier League. United have lost 7 of their last 9 across all competitions. Really need to try and get back on track this afternoon. They make 5 changes from the loss to Manchester City. Bailey, Shaw, Herrera, Matic and Lukaku come in. For Chelsea, well, they drew last time out with Burnley 2-2, and they've been poor on the road, losing 5 of their last 7. They make 4 changes. Rudiger comes back from injury. Alonso, Kovacic and Willian also in the starting 11. We'll leave that just there because we are about to get underway in this final Premier League game of what has been a very busy Sunday afternoon. The race for the top four continues, but it could well come to an end by the conclusion of this game for Manchester United. If they are beaten by Chelsea, it will leave them 6 points adrift of the Blues with 2 games to go, and a much inferior goal difference as well, something they're unlikely to be able to bridge, even if Chelsea fail to win any points from their final 2 games. So a lot at stake here for the home side. The wheels have well and truly come off of late under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. 7 losses in the last 9, and a defeat to Manchester City in midweek has also potentially helps their cross-city rivals towards the Premier League title. I saw Bobby Jackson and Jack Deaton with you today, and we say Manchester United are out of form. Chelsea don't travel too well. Difficult to know where this one might go.
Yeah, I think both sides, and we've seen it with all the sides battling up and around that top 4, they're all stumbling at the same time. It feels like nobody actually wants to play the Champions League next year. I suppose the advantage that Manchester United got, other than them being at home, is the fact that they don't have anything else to play for. They can solely focus on going and trying to get that top 4 position. Chelsea, on the other hand, have obviously got the Europa League in midweek, so I think it's a game today that Manchester United will want to prove a point after the disappointing weeks they've had. The Manchester derby was always going to be tough for them to be able to do that. Today is a better opportunity against a Chelsea side that can be rattled. However, as we were discussing before we came in, I think that Eden Hazard, if he has a good game, he could win the game on his own. Yeah. Really, his quality is out of this world, I think. And I think if Chelsea are going to get anything out of this game, they need him to play well.
He has been involved in more goals than any other player in the Premier League this season in terms of goals and assists put together. 29 in total for Eden Hazard this term, just to further reiterate his importance to this side. Chelsea are coming forward at the moment, although rather slowly, with Willian out on the left-hand side. He's got Ashley Young for company. Nice little flick down the line. Hazard injects a bit of pace, and Kante in the middle is just knocked off his stride. The ball is cleared away by United. Alonso is then nudged to the floor by Ashley Young, and that will be a free kick to Chelsea, much to the frustration of Ashley Young. We've seen this a lot this season under Maurizio Sarri, that often N'Golo Kante is that central player. He makes the late runs into the box, and a great ball from Hazard.
Yeah, he's well tracked by Luke Shaw, though. He does exactly what is needed in that situation. He sees the danger, assesses it, and then puts a foot in and does exactly what he needs to. I don't think Kante as an attacking midfielder works particularly. He's brilliant in a more defensive role, but obviously Maurizio Sarri prefers Jorginho there. But either way, he's nippy. He gets into these positions and could cause problems.
Free kick comes in, and Luis is at the near post. It's headed up, not quite away, dealt with at the far post, but I think there's a foul. Gonzalo Higuain doesn't quite understand what he's done wrong there. He's still shrugging the shoulders and having a look across towards referee Martin Atkinson. I think there might have been a bit of contact there.
Yeah, it looked like the right decision. It was just a push in the back, really, from Higuain, nothing more than that.
Oh, Lukaku might be throwing goal here. He's brought it down well into the box now, and Arrizabalaga gets down to his right-hand side to put it away for the corner kick. It was initially a really good run from Lukaku, but as we've seen so often, it's just his control that ultimately lets him down in the end.
Yeah, it's a shame because his first touch is actually really good, and then he decides to take another touch. He should perhaps have looked to have tried and swiped to that early. He decides to take a couple, 2 more, and then Rudiger gets across and does what he needs to.
Mata with the corner, headed away by Alonso. Matic will recover, and it's worked across to United's right-hand side. Pogba with the first-time ball in there, and Herrera just can't get to it. Alonso, his compatriot, will clear away with a deflection off Herrera. So Chelsea have the throw midway through their own half. A real concern, though, for Chelsea, the fact that that long ball from Shaw was so comfortably over their back line, and Lukaku was able to break the offside trap.
I tell you, if that was Marcus Rashford in that position, he hits that on that second touch. But Lukaku, a player not playing with much, if any, confidence, really. You could see it there, that rather than going and taking that shot on early, he wanted to take those extra touches just to make sure that he had it under his control before then getting the shot off, and it proved costly because it just allowed Rudiger in. But again, you're completely right, it's a concern for Chelsea that just a long ball from Manchester United's left back Luke Shaw can cut them open in such a way, because Rudiger lost Lukaku completely. He recovered well, so full credit to the defender, but he'd lost him.
Only just back in the side today as well, Rudiger, and that might be a bit of an issue as to whether he is fully fit, and no rust at all for this game. Lukaku has it, former Chelsea man, of course, on the right hand side, lays it in field to Rashford. This is deep in Chelsea territory. They lay it off instead to Young, as they don't see any further avenues to venture forwards, and they have to just slow the move down. Chelsea getting back into a good defensive shape, but that's slick stuff as Rashford is sent away down the right hand side, and good skills to cut inside. Marcos Alonso gets it back off Juan Mata, then loses his footing but battles well, at least puts Chelsea under pressure. The ball has bounced away towards Kovacic in a wide area. Chelsea extremely ambitious there in the way they play out from the back, but it has worked. They find Hazard wide on the left hand side, and now United will have to retreat, and this counter-attack not moving with great pace, but Chelsea have found space on the right-hand side with Azpilicueta. So a teasing ball in. Hazard just wanted it to be delayed a little bit more. He'd made the right run, but was never going to get on the end of it.
No, never really. It was a decent ball in, but it was just almost a little bit too early, really. He probably could have waited another few seconds before putting that ball in, but not quite working. It's interesting to see the way Manchester United are playing. It's almost like the Manchester United we saw when Solskjaer first came in.
Yeah.
They're playing with that fluidity, that freedom. They aren't scared of what's happening around them, which we've seen over the last 9 or 10 games. So it's much better. Lukaku looks like a different player, moving and trying to get involved, very similar to the way he did in that FA Cup tie against Arsenal.
Yeah, he kept taking up positions in wide areas, and that's where he finds himself right now. Rolls it infield to Pogba, gets it back again. The Belgian wants to drive into the box, but he almost left the ball behind and has to stop momentarily. Then he does lose his footing, so he tried to roll it back infield for Herrera. Chelsea will go back to Aretha Balaga, who clears downfield. Nice little cushion down from Higuain, and it's Kante who carries it on forward. Willian is breaking away down the right. Kante just overruns that one, shows enough to short. The United defender can step in. That sees the opportunity disappear this time around. Defensively, United have had major issues since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer took over. I think United fans were a little bit frustrated by how things turned out under Mourinho, that they were so tight at the back and not really scoring at the other end. Well, it has proven to be much the opposite with the Norwegian at the helm. They've not kept a clean sheet now in 12 games. That's their worst run of that sort in over 20 years. So they really do need to try and tighten things up today. I think part of the issue is they're not been able to settle on a back four. Today, for me, probably looks like the strongest four that they do have at the moment. But still saying that, I think there is room for improvement in the transfer market.
Oh, I agree with you. I think they could very easily be 11 in, 11 out this summer, because whether it's players perhaps not being good enough, whether it's players perhaps unable to play the way Solskjaer wants, or whether it's just players that don't want to be there, or you know, are affecting the dressing room from a mental aspect, because it's so important in modern day football. There's been reports of factions between different nationalities and things like that in the group, and that's the last thing that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants. He'll want a group that are willing to pull together and work for each other as well as for the club. And I think regardless of what happens, especially at the back, they need to strengthen. I mean, for me, I could very easily, I mean, Luke Shaw's is impressed. He's been improving this season. Eric Bailly's been in and out and it hasn't worked. Lindelof, personally, I'm not sold on. And at right back, they have a major issue there. So, you know, they could very easily buy a brand new back four, at least. I
think it's certainly what's being demanded from the United fans. They want the money to be spent once again. It's just a question of how much backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will get. Certainly was backed by the board in terms of getting that permanent contract, but now they have to support him financially as well. At the moment they do have the ball. Matic rolls it on forward towards Herrera, who links up quite nicely with his compatriot Mata, and then just retreats again, doesn't spot enough to move it on forward, and then as they try to force it onto Mata, bounces off his toes and into Alonso, clears, and that ball stays in play. Actually looked as though it was going to go, but United have it again in towards Pogba. Finds Lukaku, back to goal, holds up well and finds Shaw left hand side. Low ball in is turned away by Azpilicueta, and they will come out now with Willian. It has been bright from Manchester United. Well, here come Chelsea. Higuain is offside. That's so poor from the loanee. He had no excuse whatsoever there, especially the fact that he's not even trying to get away and behind that defence. to find himself offside. So lazy.
Yeah, to be coming back from an offside position in that situation is poor. It's completely unnecessary. Perhaps that's been one of Higuain's problems throughout his career, is laziness. It's that inability to look as though he's bothered in games. He gets up and scores goals and does the right thing, but there's far too often where he just doesn't do that, where he finds himself plodding around, not being involved, getting frustrated at his teammates and the referee, and perhaps just not enough movement, not enough fire and desire, really.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why it's not quite worked for him since making that loan switch to the Premier League in January. You can't afford to play a slow game, really, in the English top flight. You have to be bright and ready to run, as United are here into the box. Shaw puts it across the face of goal. Mata with the shot, and United have taken the lead. It's the former Chelsea man who turns home right-footed. United carve their opponents apart, and they have a lead just 10 minutes in.
It's been coming, it really has. Good bit of play. Again, Luke Shaw involved. It's a lovely ball into him. I'm not sure who it is who plays that initial pass over to Shaw. His pullback is good. Mata does well just to adjust and then get it back at goal. It's Lukaku, I think, actually, who plays that ball. Really good goal from a Manchester United perspective.
Just over 10 minutes gone, and Manchester United have started extremely brightly, and they've got themselves an opening goal. It was lovely play to cut Chelsea apart. Luke Shaw actually starting the move off down the left-hand side. He finds Pogba, who in turn finds Lukaku. In the meantime, Shaw has continued bursting beyond the Chelsea defence. Lukaku dinks a cute little ball over the top, and as Shaw is approached by goalkeeper Aretha Balaga at the near post, he has the awareness to cut it across to Juan Mata, who loses his footing but gets the shot away, right-footed into the back of pretty much an open net. It's Manchester United 1, Chelsea 0.
The difference in Romelu Lukaku when he has players around him it's huge. It really is. I think people get frustrated at Lukaku when he plays as that lone striker because he doesn't have that support. You know, even if he has Martial and Rashford either side, he doesn't have that direct support. Today he's up front with Rashford, with Mata also around, and he's able to all of a sudden have a bit of space for himself and able to get assists and able to play balls rather than him being relied on to almost be a target man and hold it up. He can drift in, drop in deeper, and then play those passes. That's what made that goal. His pass to Luke Shaw is sublime. For a player that you don't necessarily associate being able to, you know, play these killer balls.
Yeah.
You think of Lukaku as the player that finishes moves off. But because he's got the players around him, he's able to bring that facet to his game. And, as I mentioned the Arsenal game in the FA Cup, he was brilliant that day, drifting wide, got 2 assists and a goal that evening. And today, he's been very similar with the way that he's calling for the ball. He's drifting out wide, he's coming into a deeper position. He's all over the place because he knows that there's going to be a player filling his position if he does that.
Yeah, it's working well, isn't it? And that's something that maybe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has to recognise and demand more of. I'm sure it's something they can work on over the close season and the build-up to next term. Solskjaer might well argue the fact that he's still very much in the early stages of his time at Old Trafford and hasn't really been able to put his stamp on this squad, but there are signs there certainly on an attacking front that make you believe that they can be a threat next season. It is, as we said before, just defensively they need to iron out the issues. No doubt Chelsea are going to ask some questions at some point today, but it's United again who are coming forward, and Lukaku once more has pulled out wide. Rashford is making moves in the middle, as is Pogba. Delivery comes, Rudiger heads away and needs help from his teammates' edge of the box. It's a pretty poor clearance actually from Alonso, but he gets lucky as United miss control. It was Shaw who tried to play it forward and Pogba who was unable to bring it down. So Chelsea approaching the halfway line now with Jorginho. Exchange of passes with Kovacic. As things stand, United are going to move level on points with Chelsea. That goal difference does see them still staying out of the top 4, but makes it very interesting going into those final games of the Premier League campaign. Chelsea move it forward now in towards Higuain, who lays it back towards Hazard, just around the edge of the Manchester United box. Again, it's all very slow. United have got plenty of bodies back there and making it difficult to really find space. Ball then bounces off the heel of Higuain. Wasn't quite expecting that pass from Kovacic. And a pass out wide towards Willian is misplaced from Rudiger. And Chelsea just a little bit sloppy at the moment when they have got to that final third.
Yeah, they look spooked as well at the back. When the ball goes anywhere near Rudiger, he seems to panic defensively. They just look a little bit out of sorts. But you're completely right. When they get into the final third, it's a bit disjointed. Hazard's drifting around, looking busy, but not getting on the ball. Higuain, we've already mentioned, is just plodding around. And Willian, we've hardly mentioned other than his free kick earlier on that didn't really cause any problems. So I think for Chelsea, it'll be a frustration that perhaps they've just not got to grips with this game at all.
United have got it at the back at the moment. Chelsea trying to squeeze forward and apply a little bit of a press that has forced Luke Shaw backwards. They find a pass out through Lindelof in towards Pogba. He's closely tracked by Azpilicueta, and the Spaniard, he stops the Frenchman in his tracks and puts it out into touch. And United will send this one back into play to Mata, of course scoring the goal and seemingly now full of confidence and wanting to be involved in every action. He has lost possession. Hazard will take it on forward. He's scythed down there right under the nose of referee Martin Atkinson. And Herrera might well get away without a booking here. Looks to be the case, and I think it's just going to be a free kick.
Yeah, he's unfortunate actually, Herrera. It looked as though he slips as he goes forward. I might be wrong. No, he does. He throws himself in and brings Hazard down. Now, this is a good position, this. It really is. They've got quite a few players that may well want to step over this. Higuain being one of them as well. Higuain might fancy it. Whether Hazard's going to be there, Willian, Max Alonso could potentially take it. David Luiz will also be there. So they've got players that can strike a ball from here.
Yeah, all have varying techniques as well, which can make it even more difficult for David De Gea to really know where to position himself. You've got someone like an Alonso, because it is quite central, so that does favour Chelsea in the fact that they can have a couple of decoy runners and keep the goalkeeper on his toes. De Gea has sort of gambled here by placing the ball towards his left-hand side, the right-hand side as Chelsea look at it. We've got David Luiz and Willian, who appear to be the preferred options. No, Alonso has stayed there as well, so they do have that left foot. And you'd maybe suggest with De Gea on that side that Alonso will strike, and he does, but it's over the wall, over the bar, never coming down.
I was a bit surprised that De Gea put his wall where he did, because it was dead centre, so he could have picked either side. I suppose in the end he made the right decision if Alonso stepped into it and struck it over the crossbar, but keeper's decision. But I think they need to be doing better there. They need to at least test De Gea, especially with the way that he's been over the last few weeks, conceding goals that you would not expect David De Gea to concede. And that's the thing for Chelsea. If they get into a position to shoot, have a go. This perhaps isn't the David De Gea that was the brick wall that everyone saw beginning of the season. It's all of a sudden looking like a David De Gea that is susceptible to a potential mistake, or a David De Gea that maybe falls into the earlier category I spoke about earlier, as a player who doesn't want to be here. So why not get into a position, have a shot, try and test him?
Here they come, looking to create a chance. Kante trying to burst away from Lindelof. He has gone down, and he sort of has a glance across the linesman, not one normally to complain too strongly. I think they have got a decision here. It might go down as a corner. I don't think there was a touch in there. Yeah, they've got a corner kicker, and that's a poor decision, really. One that has come from the linesman. It initially looked as though the goal kick was going to be awarded. So, should Chelsea score from this, there will be a real bone of contention for Manchester United to take up. Willian will be the man to take it. Outswinger from the Brazilian. Actually goes short towards Hazard, and his eventual cross is deflected. It's going to be a corner on the opposite side, I think, now. But certainly another set piece. This one rightly won. Now they are going to come back to this right-hand side as Chelsea attack. So Willian will have another attempt and surely has to swing it in this time.
Yeah, what a waste it was, that corner. They've got some big players. Get the ball into the penalty area, let them go and attack it. United do not like to defend set pieces.
He does whip it in on the full, and it's headed away at the near post by Lukaku. Actually, the box shot then is over the bar from Jorginho. He's not had much of a hand in goals this season, the former Napoli man, and his sights are just off there. Yeah,
I'm not too disappointed with that, because he's at least had a go from the edge of the penalty area. Try and test David De Gea. And it wasn't the greatest of deliveries in, to be honest. Comfortably dealt with by Manchester United. As we just see a replay of the goal again. Mata's first goal in 9 appearances against his former side, incidentally. And it's really good play from Luke Shaw as well. He does really well to pull that back across because he's up against the goalkeeper, under pressure, and does the right thing. Plays a wonderful ball across, so a good goal all round for United.
Chelsea just starting to maybe settle into this game now after a slow start. They are getting into opposition territory more freely. And there Hazard slipping, just concedes possession to Ander Herrera. Clearance away, one back by the Blues. Mata battles to get it for United. He's then dispossessed, but Rashford is lurking to take over. His early ball forward was a nice idea, looking for the run of Lukaku in behind, and the Belgian appreciates it. Well, it was overhit and all the way through to Aretha Balaga. I think that's certainly something they appear to have worked on, trying to get Lukaku away. So although he is quite a big striker, he has got that injection of pace, can be slightly deceiving at times. His athleticism, especially against Rudiger, who, as we say, is only just back into the side today. One of the 4 changes for Chelsea. Switch of play now from the travelling side, and Alonso holds it further down that flank to Hazard. Reluctant to take it on further. He comes away from goal, has been hounded by Bailey. It's laid off to Jorginho, who switches the play now for Willian. Bursting beyond him is Azpilicueta, but Willian wants to go himself. Stumbles on the ball. Shaw is there applying the pressure. Forces the former Shakhtar man back to N'Golo Kante, so they have to recycle. United, so far, when they're keeping this defensive shape, look pretty solid. They are putting 11 men behind the ball. They're almost leaving Rashford as the leading man. They're bringing Lukaku out wide to this left-hand side, but chance here for Higuain, edge of the box, shot charged down. It's worked right-hand side for Willian. Decides against crossing right-footed, left-footed ball comes in. It scoops off United man. Bailey behind for the corner.
Again, why not for Chelsea? Getting into good positions, getting shots off. They're doing exactly what they need to do here, because Manchester United are folding. They're sitting back and they're sitting off more and more. Interestingly enough, I keep watching Hazard. He keeps slipping over. So it's whether he needs to change his boots, whether he needs to do something different, because at the moment he's struggling to find his feet, and that's not helping Chelsea's plight.
Yeah, one of those where potentially the pitch has been watered heavily between warm-ups and kick-off, and Steve plays a little bit. There's a chance here, corner, his edge of the box. Oh, the volley is a shocker from Jorginho. Really nice idea, as he said off the bat. Everyone in United colours had gone inside the box. Jorginho had all the time in the world, but just got it all wrong.
Well, just before the corner was taken, I looked at Jorginho hanging around and I was like, this is not what they're going to try, is it? In the end, I think the ball hung a little bit too long in the air, so the Manchester United defenders were able to get out and put Jorginho under pressure. Then he swipes at it. So good defending from United. Good idea though from Chelsea.
All forward from United now. Young's pass, he's not going to find Rashford, and Aretha Balaga can come and claim that one inside his own box. Just over the midway point of this first half, and Chelsea have responded slightly since falling behind. They've not really tested De Gea greatly, but they're creating a few chances. They had a free kick that Hazard won after being brought down by Ander Herrera. Alonso put that over the wall, but over the bar as well. There was a corner kick that was cleared. Jorginho shooting outside the box. That one ended up over the bar, and he's also had one, and Chelsea tried to work a cute corner. It was chipped straight to the edge of the box. He didn't have as much time as he maybe wanted, and he sliced the volley away behind for a goal kick as well. So asking questions, maybe United, who have been sitting deep, are just welcoming Chelsea on